Hi guys, welcome to my channel Ancient Wisdom Modern Fools. Now in this video, I'll be reviewing this book, The Death of Expertise, The Campaign Against Established Knowledge and Why It Matters, written by Tom Nichols. Now, it's a library book, got to return it soon. If you are still curious about the book after watching this video, you can go check it out. Now, at the very beginning, the author acknowledged that this book is not really about the death of expertise per se, but more about the death of the public's trust in expert opinion and their rejection of the idea that experts may know more than laymen do. Now, the author's ominous warning is this: the death of expertise is not just a rejection of existing knowledge. It is fundamentally a rejection of science and rationality, which are the foundations of modern civilization. Now, in this day and age, flaunting credentials don't automatically give value to one's opinion. On the contrary, any assertion of expertise from an actual expert can have the opposite effect. Now, such proof of expertise may be seen by the highly opinionated audience as an attempt to demand compliance and stifle dialogue. Unfortunately, even in life and death situations, anti-vaccine crusaders like actors Jim Carrey, Jenny McCarthy Oh, same person, different pose. Now, this former couple and other uninformed celebrities and their misinformation about the dangers of vaccines have put millions of people in danger of preventable afflictions like measles and whooping cough. Now, interestingly, some see the death of expertise as a sign of progress. They proudly declare that professionals no longer have the privilege of knowing the secrets of how things work. Who else knows better? Well, the smart Alex. Who are these smart Alex? We've all met them. They could be our co-workers or friends or family members, and they seem to know everything, and they happily share their so-called expertise with us. When I was busy reading the information on a historical site in Vietnam, there was this Malaysian uncle who lectured to everybody in his group with information proudly derived from his imagination. We tolerate these folks because they mean well and provide entertainment. And sometimes we just want to wickedly rejoice the moment they are proven wrong. Perhaps deep down, those of us with low self-esteem also enjoy seeing experts being proven wrong. Now, the author believes that smart Alex lack self-awareness. He talks about a phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect, named after David Dunning and Justin Kruger, the two research psychologists at Cornell University, identified in a landmark 1999 study that the dumber you are, the more confident you are that you are not actually dumb. Now, that doesn't explain something I know about smart Alex. They never put their money where their mouths are. They give rave reviews for the Chinese economy, but never buy any Chinese stocks. Now, next, conspiracy theories. One reason we all love good conspiracy theories is that it appeals to our sense of heroism. A brave individual goes against the authorities to expose a massive cover-up. Like the plot in thrillers, conspiracy theories need to be complicated and, ironically, even a bit unbelievable. Why do they have such a hold on the popular imagination in so many societies? The author believes that it's because we need to rationalize tragedies. When bad luck or a simple motive are inadequate explanation for a major tragic event, like the death of the invincible Bruce Lee, societies gravitate towards outlandish theories. Canadian writer Jonathan Kay has noted that conspiracy theories become especially seductive in a society that has suffered an epic collectively felt trauma. Example, a devastating event like 9/11 is also replete with conspiracy theories. Of course, we can't talk about the death of expertise without talking about the internet. Never in human history have human beings had so much information at their fingertips. Ironically, the internet can also make us dumber, in the author's words, because it's not just a magnet for the curious. It could also be a sinkhole for the gullible. It could make everyone appear like an expert instantly. Now, some of the smartest people on earth have a significant presence on the internet. Some of the stupidest people, the most devious liars, manipulators, and scammers on the same planet, however, reside just a click away on the next page or hyperlink. Now, to use the internet wisely, we need to pause, to reflect, and give time to absorb information and digest it. Lazy people tend to react to things they see without thinking. The diligent ones become invested in defending their gut feelings rather than accepting new information or admitting a mistake. Now, with so much information out there, people only have time to consume information that conforms with their views, even when it's demonstrably fake. In other words, you search until you reach the conclusion you are after. The internet is fertile ground for confirmation bias. There is plenty of information and misinformation to poo-poo an expert opinion that you don't like. Next, experts and politics. Now, the arrival of Fox News was the ultimate expression of the partisan division in how people seek out sources of news in a new electronic marketplace. It's not just Fox News. Numerous other networks have developed their own political shout shows, verbal versions of worldwide wrestling matches. Now, these networks broadcast shows featuring studio guests and commentators online with varying levels of expertise and let them debate on news topics, shouting each other down, rudely snapping at one another, and viewers love the spectacle. Advertising is sold and money is made. Following the commercial success of Fox News, other channels that claim to be non-partisan follow the same rule book to a greater or lesser degree. Experts appearing on the shows come in all shapes, sizes, and orientations. I watch them mostly for entertainment. That is not to say that they are not informative. No channel is unbiased, but they do offer different perspectives, unlike the media under autocratic regimes. Now, whether you're an expert or arguing with an expert, numbers can help a lot. But even though numbers don't lie, they can't tell the whole truth either. The anti-war protesters are often fond of quoting figures indicating that death from suicides of military veterans exceed that from combat deaths. Now, it may seem shocking, but the simple fact is such numbers are easily achievable when there is no war. It all depends on who you consider a veteran. Now, the interesting thing is, such numbers are never questioned by those who jump on the anti-war bandwagon. Chapter 6, When Experts Are Wrong. The author explains that experts cannot guarantee outcomes. In fact, they too can fall prey to the same shortcomings that govern all human deliberations. They purportedly make fewer mistakes. Nobody doubts that an F1 driver can finish the circuit a lot faster and safer than a layman. On the other hand, practically every single expert predicted that oil prices would skyrocket when the first Gulf War erupted. Someone who got it right was Nassim Nicholas Taleb's friend nicknamed Tony, who made a fortune from put options during that time. And Tony didn't even go to college. Apart from making mistakes, experts can cheat and lie just like everyone else. They can also be trapped in their own echo chambers and ivory towers, engaging in groupthink while drawing attractive remuneration. Sadly, the author doesn't say much about people I often refer to as pathetic academics. There are numerous examples of research fraud with falsified data and results. There are also scientists who stop behaving like scientists after reaching a certain level of expertise. Much to my delight, the author mentions Nobel Prize-winning chemist Linus Pauling. In the 1970s, Pauling insisted that vitamin C was a wonder drug. He advocated taking mega doses of the supplement to ward off the common cold. There was no actual evidence for Pauling's claims, but he's the expert with a Nobel Prize in chemistry. Pauling claimed that he took 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. That's 50 times the recommended daily amount, and he believed that it would extend his life by 25 years. He also claimed that vitamins could treat everything including cancer, heart disease, leprosy, mental illness, and other maladies. He even suggested looking into the use of vitamin C to fight against AIDS, which caused quite a scare during the 1980s. Now, Pauling's beliefs spawned a huge amount of research, but as it turned out, big doses of vitamins can actually be dangerous. They may actually increase the chance of certain kinds of cancers and strokes. Next, predicting the future. Now, most of us don't take fortune tellers seriously, but one of the things we expect from experts is predictions. And as mentioned, most experts, in fact, don't have a very good track record when it comes to predictions. We could all be in very bad shape, indeed, if we listened and acted on the predictions of all the experts. Now take this book, for example. Tom Hartman predicted that oil price would go through the roof and the world economy would be in absolute jeopardy in the year 2016. The opposite happened. The author of The Death of Expertise admits that he was wrong when he predicted that Vladimir Putin would bring about greater democracy in Russia and also a more peaceful Europe. Was he misinformed, or did Putin change? Recognizing that the death of expertise is not without its reasons, the author believes that the public needs to approach expert advice with a certain combination of skepticism and humility. I think he means more humility. My advice is simply do some research and don't be a smart aleck. Next, somebody could have taken advantage of your cynicism. The author points out that during the 2016 presidential campaign, Donald Trump tapped into a long-standing American belief that experts and intellectuals are not only running the lives of ordinary people, but also doing a lousy job of it. The author believes that Trump's eventual victory was undeniably one of the most recent and one of the loudest trumpets sounding the impending death of expertise. He claims that Americans tend to think about issues like macroeconomic policy or foreign affairs only when things go very wrong. They are not full-timers and hands-on people like the experts. Most of the time when nothing is happening, they are blissfully unaware that the country is depending on experts to keep things running. It's a bit like public focusing on the handful of mistakes made by the medical profession while ignoring all the good that it had done for the community 99% of the time. Good point. In the concluding chapter, the author indicates that ignorance can be overcome as long as people are willing to learn. However, nothing can overcome the toxic confluence of arrogance, narcissism, and cynicism against the efforts of experts and professionals. Now, can this problem ever be solved? Well, fight fire with fire. Taiwanese entertainer Barbie Su, or more accurately Barbie Xu Xiyuan, she died on the 2nd of February this year at the age of 48. Apparently, it was due to complications from a bout of flu. In the wake of her untimely death, the danger of vaccines was cast aside, as many of her fans and even her haters were rushing to get their flu shots. Now that may be the shocker that's needed for people to change their minds. Now, the author suspects that an expert opinion may regain its position in a disaster as yet unforeseen. Now, this book was published in 2017, and COVID could have been the disaster that the author had been waiting for. When 2020 came, the author wrote and spoke that the pandemic was an excellent opportunity to get the public listening to experts again. Unfortunately, he was wrong again. As he admits in a recent interview, people have become even more skeptical. That's all for this video. I'll return this book to the library. Those who are interested can check it out. Thank you for watching.